It was August. It was hot. It must have been 110 degrees in that front yard. It was a dozen of us. It was children. None whom I particularly liked. None whom I was particularly having a good time. And we sat there on a brown patch of burnt up grass. Okay. My mother, who usually plans the day out with military precision. I see, like at 2 o'clock we do 3 leg races. At 2:15 we'll pass oranges under our chins. And at 3 o'clock, that's when the entertainment arrived. Yeah, it was a clown, Mr. Giggles. Mr. Giggles the clown was not an ordinary clown. See, Mr. Giggles was very old. Now I know that adults seem old to very small children, but Mr. Giggles was very old to very old people. His skin was the texture of non-colored white raisins. I mean, in any event, Mr. Giggles could pop flowers from his umbrellas and pull foam balls from behind children's ears. Mr. Giggles was manically cheerful, despite the fact that none of us joined in. Laughter moved. Mr. Giggles thought that singing would rouse us out of our collective comas. And he sang to us 100 bottles of beer on the wall. Instead, we were 10. So he would sing it 100 bottles of milk on the wall. Not very imaginative, Mr. Giggles. I mean, he was in his demented frenzy wild for us to perform. And I think all of us, at some point, we all joined in and sung, but it was just too damn hot. You know, I think we got to 90 bottles of milk on the wall, and we got to 80 bottles of milk on the wall, and then we just stopped. I could take no more. I mean, I just laid my head down into the earth. I shut my eye. And Mr. Giggle ran at me, knelt down beside me, and sang at me. 82 bottles of milk on the wall, 82 bottles of milk, loud. Shouting, which should have been singing, was actually screaming. I mean, I couldn't stir up. I just opened my eyes, and I stared at this fascist clown, screaming at me. Loud screaming with what should have been infectious joy was shouting. See, there was another kid, he joined, I think he stopped also. His name was Tommy Leonardo, I think. He just put his head forward and just fell quiet. Mr. Giggles, he leaped at him. He screeched at him with rage. 81 bottles of milk! 81 bottles of milk in a while! Screaming, what should have been singing was shouting. I mean, by now, all the other kids followed suit. And it was like spontaneous suicides, and they just fell voiceless. And by now, Mr. Giggles, in his demented fit, running crazily from child to child, spit flying out of him, sweat falling off of him. 81 bottles of milk, 81 bottles of milk, 81 bottles. He would not stop. I mean, by now, none of us joined in, except for my sister, who would participate in this deranged duet at all cost. I mean, I watched Mr. Giggle flap his arms like spastic birds and lose count completely. 42 bottles of milk. 48 bottles of milk. And then he just stopped. It was like, just like Dad, wet. It was like a broken pencil. The silence was palpable. My sister, feeling abandoned by all this, she just stares. Bernadette. He's dead, I whispered. Bernadette gets up, she screeched and ran off the front yard right into the street. It was like where a passing bread truck was coming, like it was like it avoided her. It swerved to avoid hitting her, and it ran straight into a mammoth oak tree, like shaking it out. Perched our cat to its bloody death. I mean, it was perched, it was imbued by the truck's antenna. I mean, it was blood splattered all over the windshields.